So we now know how we can insert related data, and we saw that we can work with that related data in a very natural way. But what if we, for example, want to query by related data? So let's say I want to find all books where the author has a last name of Rowling. So books by Rowling is my variable. And querying for it is thankfully very simple. We can use book objects and then filter, since we want to get multiple books here and not just one, it's filter and not get. And then we could, of course, filter by title as you learned it, or you could search for a rating greater than something, but you can also query by related data. You can query by author. And then again, Django gives us a very intuitive way of querying by author data. If you want to, for example, query by the last name, we simply type author _ last name, and then we can search for Rowling. And hence, if I print books by Rowling, I get a query set with all the books written by an author with a last name of Rowling. And of course, that's the only author we have right now, but if we had multiple authors with the same last name, we would be finding all books by all those authors which share the last name Rowling. And you can even take this one step further. If you would want to add contains or greater than here, and obviously greater than doesn't make sense here, but if you would want to add something like this, you can again add another pair of underscores and add those modifiers which we saw without relations earlier in the course already. So we can also search for authors that contain just ling. And if I do that, I still, therefore, find the Harry Potter book, because the last name of its author contains ling. So we got very powerful querying methods here. And when working with relations and you want to query across relations, you can therefore always use this pattern. On book here, we can filter for author, which is a field on our book model. And then with double underscores, you can drill into fields in the related model, in this case last name, which is a field on the related author model. And then if you want to, you can add another pair of underscores to add one of these modifiers like contains or greater than, and the other modifiers I talked about in the data and models course section. So this is a very intuitive way which Django gives you as a developer to query across multiple related models if you need that for your website. But what about the reverse? What if we want to query through the author? What if we want to access an author and find all the books by that author, or query by related data seen from the author's point of view? That, thankfully, is also not too difficult. You can also access the inverse of a relation. Thus far, we always started with the book and had a look at related authors. We can also start with an author. So again, here we have J.K. Rowling, and we can get access to her by accessing author objects, and then, for example, get the object where first name is J.K. So now we got her in this variable. What if we now want to get access to all the books written by her? There is no books field in this class. Well, again, thankfully Django has got us covered, and it automatically creates a field for us which we can use here. We can use book underscore set. If I hit enter, I get access to the inverse of the relation. And we can use book set all, for example, to then query for all the related books. So book set is like objects just for relations. And it's named book set because Django automatically creates this property on the author object. It takes the class name of the related model, book, turns it into all lowercase, and then appends underscore set. But you don't have to stick to that. If you want to use a different name, you can do that. You just have to go to the field where you set up the relation. In this case, that's the author field, of course. And there you can add the related name option. And that, as the name suggests, allows you to define the name for the relation just seen from the related model. So here we could enter books, for example. Let me auto-format this to make this a bit easier to read. Now I set related name to books on this author foreign key field. And as a consequence, we'll then be able to access author, a single author instance, .books to query for all the books of that author. To see this in action, we need to save this, exit our shell, and make and run migrations again because we changed our models and the field definitions. So I'll make migrations again. And then, of course, run those migrations again. So I'll run migrate again. And with that done, we can enter the shell again to work with our authors and books one more time. So for that, here, I'll import from book outlet.models. I'll import book and author again. And just as before, we can get access to J.K. Rowling by using author objects get. Here it's objects because we're directly working on the authors themselves, not on some related model, but on the authors themselves. We want to get the object, the author object, where a certain condition is fulfilled. And that condition is that the first name is j.k, for example. And then we can now access books instead of book set, which we had before, because of that related name which we set. That's why it's now books to query for all the books. And just to make this clear, on books here, or before on book set, you can do the same things as you can do on objects. You can get a single book, for example. You can get the book where the title is Harry Potter 1. You can also, instead of get, call filter here. And you will still get a query set on which you can chain filter, and where all these performance implications mentioned earlier also apply. Now you can, of course, therefore also use these modifiers and, for example, filter for all the books by J.K. Rowling where the rating is greater than 3 with a query like this. So this all works as you would expect it to work. And that's how you can connect models with each other. Now, I showed it all here in the shell, as explained at the beginning, so that you see all the code for those queries, because it is that code which you ultimately probably at some point need to write in your views. But of course, we do have that nice, lovely admin area. So therefore, let's now explore how we can add both models to the admin area and how we can manage relations there.